All right, also we got a Rogue Timer interval clock tutorial. Up here is the power button. You will very rarely need to use that. It just shuts it on and off. Like I said, you'll very rarely, if ever, use that. In the center here, I'll show some of the least complicated first. We've got just a straight up timer. So you'll see that's just a normal timer, kind of like a stopwatch. You click OK to start and stop that. So, okay. And sometimes, as you guys can see, you got to get pointed at just the right angle to make that work. So if I had it on the timer and I want to get out of there, I'm going to click this bottom left button, which is quite worn out because it gets used a lot, but that is the exit button. So exit, and it'll just take you back to the home screen, to the timer. Then over here we got TBT, that is Tabata. So that's just automatically going to set it up with 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest. So I'm not going to let it count all the way there, but that's what that'll go to. That'll just go through 8 rounds of 20 seconds and 10 seconds because that's a full Tabata is 8 rounds of that. I guess I'll let that count. So then it'll count for 10 seconds of rest. Like I said, that is that TBT, that's that Tabata button. Again, I'm exiting to get back to the home screen. Cool. Then I'll show you guys. So if I've got it on a stopwatch, but I want to give a 10-second countdown, I don't want to start right away, this +10 button, you'll notice that when I press it, it adds those 2 little dots in the middle, and that just means that it's going to have a 10-second countdown. So that's useful for like group classes when you want to let like the whole class know about the countdown. And then I'll give 3, 2, 1, it'll beep for the last little bit. So again, that is that +10 button, and you'll know whether it's on or off by those 2 little dots that I'm turning on and off right now. Then probably one of the most common ones that you'll use is interval, INT. So right now it looks like it's set up for 2 rounds of 8 minutes of work and 2 minutes of rest. But, so when I go to interval, so when I first click set, that's going to let me adjust the number of rounds that it's set up for. So right now it's 0, 2, so 2 rounds. So then let's say if I wanted it to be set for 10 rounds, 1, 0, and then I would click set, which is this bottom right hand corner button, set. So then it moves on to the working intervals. So then with that, you got to make sure that either you click the arrow button over to change that, or you can just click 0 and then it'll go there. So let's set it for 10 rounds of 2 minutes of work. And then, so right now this is, the H2 means that it's like the interval, the second interval or the rest basically. So 2 minutes of work, 1 minute of rest. So there we go, 10 rounds of 2 minutes of work and 1 minute of rest. Now, if I wanted that to count, so right now if I go, it's going to count down. If I wanted it to count up for whatever reason, so I'm going to exit out of it, and then I'm going to go back to interval again. And I wanted to count up, there's this little down up button, and that just changes the way that it counts. So if I click that, now it'll count up to 2 minutes. Again, there's some workouts where it's going to make sense to have it counting up, some workouts where it makes sense to have it counting down, and then some that it doesn't really matter. Those are kind of the main buttons on here that you're going to use. There's not a whole lot of other things that you'll need to click, but there are some preloaded options if you click some of the number buttons. So if you click 9, I guess 9 right now is preset for a minute of work and 30 seconds of rest for 12 rounds. Didn't know that. If you click 8, sometimes the presets get changed because when the remote gets dropped or pressed in the wrong way or something. Which right now it looks like none of them are really saved as presets except the 6 minute or the 6 takes it to a 6-minute timer. Let's see what 5 does. 5 does 5 minutes. 4 does something, I don't know. Like I said, some of those presets will get changed if like the button gets clicked in somebody's pocket or something. But in general, you won't have to worry too much. If you want to set like a longer timer, then you would just go to interval, and just set it for 1 round. Or sorry, 1 round. So let's say you want to set it for like a 25-minute timer. You would just set it for 1 round of 25 minutes. So again, interval is for setting different intervals or longer time periods. This stopwatch in the center is if you just want it counting up. Up and down buttons, that's for whether you want to count up or down. TBT is Tabata, that's 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. OK is always going to be to start or stop the timer, and then set and exit down at the bottom. So those will be, oh, and then sorry, the 10-second, it gives it a 10-second countdown. So those will be the main buttons that you'll use on our Rogue timer. Best practice is to just come in, practice with it, play with it in your own workouts. That way you know how to use it in class. And always, like I said, sometimes you got to play with the angle, because if I'm clicking it down here, nothing happens. But if I click it up there, oh, suddenly it goes away. So cool. Hope this helps.